Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 133. Andrew Eisen here, along with Zachary Knight. Hello, Zachary.
Hello, Andrew. Hello, everybody out there.
So, let me tell y'all about my day. So, after working not quite 14 hours yesterday, I went home, ate dinner, went to bed. Got up this morning with a plan. I'm going to go to the gym. Then I'm going to go to the dealership to get my car serviced because I haven't been doing that because I've been busy, because I can't take time off of work to do it. And my weekends have been busy too. And they're only open from morning till about 2:30 in the afternoon on Saturday. But today, yes, today I will take the time to do it. And then I will come back and I will get a haircut, and then I'll go into the office and work some more, and then I'll do the podcast, and then I'll go back to work and work some more. Here's what happened. Went to the gym. So far, so good. Except when I was doing my cool down, the treadmill decided it was done with me and just stopped. It said, You've been treading on me long enough, buddy. Off my back. Hey, I'd been on there for 20 minutes. Whatever. So I go home, I shower, and off to the dealership to get my car serviced. I'm there for over 5 hours. Was not expecting that. While I was there, looking at my work email, and I was already expecting to put in another 6 hours of work this weekend to get everything I need done. Well, there's a problem. I need to have an emergency release, which needs to be tested before we release it. But I'm stuck in a dealership because my car is being serviced. I can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I did not get back until 4:30, and I had not eaten since breakfast, so I was a little grumpy. So I'm like, all right, let me just get my haircut real quick, and I'll grab a burrito from Harvest Taco and go to work. Well, the haircutter place is everyone is cutting someone's hair, and they're like, it'll be about half an hour. I'm like, okay, so go next door, have a burrito, go back, and it was a little bit more than half an hour because the people they were servicing had a lot more hair than I do. I mean, like hair down to the butt type hair.
Wow.
That takes a long time to dry. But I got my hair cut. Don't I look nice? And I went to work and spent about an hour because I got there at 5:30, and at 6:30 I'm like, all right, got to go home, do a podcast. So now we're doing the podcast, and as soon as we're done, going back to work. It's going to be another 13 or 14 hours of work this weekend. So I am a tired boy. But I do have some interesting news. I saw a job post, and where is it? So it is a host/writer of original programming at GameSpot. You need on-camera skills. You are extremely comfortable hosting and being on camera, as well as have extensive experience doing voiceover work. Writing, you are able to write sharp, witty, relatable, and well-researched script about a multitude of different pop culture topics. You have a unique and identifiable voice. Creativity, collaborative, strong interest in gaming, TV shows, movies, and comic books, and organization skills. I'm like, well, golly, that sounds right up my alley.
Yeah.
So I was like, I know, I'll just, I'll do a video resume since they're looking for an on-camera personality. That might be fun. And then just everything happens. I'm like, maybe I'm just going to have to do this standby, the good old cover letter and PDF resume, because I don't know when I'm going to shoot such a video, because I got to go back to work after this. So what video did I submit? What video did I submit for what? Oh, I haven't submitted anything. I haven't had time. I've literally been doing nothing but working and sleeping for a while. um, and with an occasional food break.
Yeah.
This podcast is my first break since Thursday. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Well, I guess I guess spending time at the gym this morning and 5 hours or so in the waiting room of at the dealership waiting for my car to be serviced was a break. Uh, so anyway,
Yeah.
maybe hopefully I'll find some time to do that because that sounds like a fun job.
Yeah.
The only thing that concerns me is it says the contract length is initially 6 months. I'm like, do I really want to quit my job and move to San Francisco? I mean, pretending I actually got the job.
Yeah.
I'd have to move to San Francisco and roll the dice on whether they want to continue my contract after 6 months. But
Yeah.
one thing at a time. Let's get a job offer first before we worry about any of that. So.
Yeah. And considering the fickle nature of uh of the games media these days, and we'll get to that in our podcast. Yeah, that is definitely a worry. I would have be worried about that if I got
Mhm.
something like that, because I'm not single, so
That's true.
you're a little more flexible in what arrangements you can take on. But it's like, for me, it's like, I need something stable. I need to know that I'm going to be there for longer than 6 months, because I can't just uproot my family, go
Yeah.
work somewhere for 6 months, and then be like, okay, now what? Yeah.
Mhm. And the problem with San Francisco is
Um,
you kind of have to. You're
it's
not going to.
expensive.
It's even more expensive than San Diego,
Hmm.
and I'm wondering, it's like, how much money could they possibly be offering for that job? Because my one of my worries, and again, stop worrying about it until you get a job offer, you dork, is that it's like, oh my gosh, they actually offered me a job, and it's like 20 grand less than I make now. It's like, no, I can't talk them up that far.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that would be so disappointing to be offered such an awesome job and not be able to take it because it would just be you'd have to really lower your quality of living and
Yeah,
such
yeah,
that it is. I mean, I really don't want to live in a smaller place than this with another person and have to commute into the island every day for significantly less money than I'm making now.
yeah,
That that it's a concern, but it's a concern not really worth worrying about until someone offers me a job. So
yeah, yeah. That's,
we'll see what happens.
I don't know. I like.
That says you might be able to get a pet if you move. That this is true.
Yeah. See, I like living in Oklahoma because it's relatively low cost of living,
Yeah.
and it's not the lowest cost of living in the United States, but it's low enough that I can support my family, and my wife doesn't have to work. And we're living in a 5-bedroom house with three bathrooms, so it's like, this is the life.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not making bank, but
Yes.
it's enough to buy video games.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's the important thing.
Yeah.
And then food,
Oh, the
stuff,
rent and food, and
clothes.
yeah, clothes for the kids.
That's right.
Yeah.
Run around naked. Daddy needs to play some God of War or whatever. Chaos says they probably don't even pay enough to pay rent. Most of the folks I know who are game writers, game journalists, who work for IGN and GameSpot, and is One Up still around? Um,
No, I don't think one ups are still
no,
around. No.
they all live with each other. I know very few of the. I don't know any of them for sure that, at least when I was talking to them, that didn't have roommates, and I'm I'm not a roommate kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah, Andrew likes to walk around naked all day.
That's right.
He's not even wearing pants right now.
No need. Uh, Matthew
But
says I would expect a pay cut. Sadly, it seems like an entry-level job. And it looks like doesn't seem entry level, but I
yeah,
know enough
I
people
don't
in
know.
the business that it's probably not. It's probably less than I make now. I would
Yeah,
imagine it's
it's
probably 30 to 40, maybe.
yeah. I'm not, just as you read the description, it doesn't sound like an entry level job because they want someone who can actually perform on camera and hold an interview and be interesting and that sort of thing. So yeah, this
Yeah.
is they're wanting someone that's experienced.
Yeah, it says you'll be working on original series with CBS Interactive's gaming brand GameSpot, as well as the entertainment brand GameSpot Universe. Some shows will be limited high-quality series, others will be weekly podcast-style productions. You will need to quickly adapt hosting styles and writing styles between the two. Production teams global, strong communication skills are a must. So I'm reading this, I'm like, well, I have over a decade of writing experience, actual professionally published stuff. Wrote for Game Politics for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I've been doing my own videos for 7 or 8 years. I'm published on IGN and the old version of The Escapist, the original old version of The Escapist, Volume 1 version, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I've been interviewed. I've done interviews. I've been a talking head on news programs before. So I host a podcast. So I work in a global company and am constantly coordinating with a development team in India and a development team in Toronto. And uh, we have clients and customers in China, Japan, Mexico, all over the place, and it's really fun trying to figure out what Stuart from Glasgow is trying to tell me at 2 in the morning when I just woke up. And I love Stuart; he's a great guy, but man, that Scottish brogue of his is impenetrable at 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Andrew Stuart, I'm like, oh no. I'm much better when Mario Moreno from Mexico calls me, and my Spanish is horrid. I have much better shot of understanding him. Or Lewis
Nice.
from China, you know. Um, Lewis from China speaks much clearer English than Stuart from Glasgow. So
Nice.
anyway, yeah, Chaos says, yeah, One Up's gone for years now. I was just trying to think of the because they were all in the same area, like the same street. And I was like, and I was thinking of One Up. I'm like, they're gone, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, how you been?
I've been pretty good. I got to see the Lego Movie 2, the
Oh,
second
how's
part
that?
yesterday.
I was
It's
gonna
good.
go to a movie tomorrow. I'm probably not gonna go to a movie tomorrow.
Yeah. No, it's good. I liked it. It's not as good as the first one, but it's definitely still up there in terms of quality and comedy. Um, but yeah, I really really liked it. Where the first one is a story about a father learning to share his passion with his son, young child son. That this one is siblings, with totally different play styles trying to get along. That's what this one's all about, and they really play it very well. And I is Batman still a tool in this one? Yes, he's always a tool. This is Will Arnett's Batman. Yeah, Will Arnett.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I had to double think because Will Ferrell's also in this one. I'm like, yeah, we got two Wills. Well, Will Ferrell,
He's
his voice is in this one, which is kind of funny because the mom was the disembodied voice in the first one, and the dad's the disembodied voice in this second one, and the mom actually makes an appearance. And I forget the actress's name, but um, But yeah, they so this one is all about they're it's Apocalypseburg, and all the characters that we met in the first Lego movie are part of this new one, and they all live a in a Mad Max style apocalypse, and post-apocalyptic world. And I've actually seen the Lego set in person. Like, we went to the Lego store earlier in the week, and they have the display with the Apocalypseburg with the top half of the Statue of Liberty on it and stuff. It looks great. And, it looked great in person. Looks great in the movie. And but yeah, Emmett, same Emmett from the first movie. Everybody else is more gritty and dour, and just like, we gotta fight to survive type thing. And Wild Style's pretty much the same character she was in the first one too, but yeah. So they we open up, the movie opens up with the ending of the first movie with the Duplos attacking the city, and Emmett tries to make friends with them at the beginning, and then they just start demolishing everything, and and it goes through a whole montage of the Bricksburg people trying to rebuild, and then the aliens coming in and destroying it all, and eventually they just give up on trying to rebuild and just make stuff crappy, and and then that goes into the movie, where the alien shows up, kidnaps Wild Style and Captain Brickbeard, Batman, Unikitty, and Benny the astronaut. Kidnaps all of them, and and uh, and then so Emmett has to go and rescue them, and it's a really good story, and I love Rex Danger Star or something,
Danger
like whatever.
Vest, I think it is.
Danger Vest, yeah, whatever his name is. It's a great character. He's a lot of fun, and does the second movie pull yeah, it breaks the fourth wall a lot more than the first movie does. Where the first movie,
Cat's out of the bag now, so may as well.
yeah, the cat's out of the bag. Where the first movie, Emmett has his first vision when he finds the piece of resistance, and then the final reveal at the very end of the movie, at the in the climax, where we learn that yes, this is a little kid playing with Legos. But this one, you see flashes of the real world, multiple times throughout the thing, and and so yeah, it's the cat's out of the bag. So they play it for laughs. They play it for plot purposes. But you don't spend a whole lot of time in the outside world until the very end, though, where you really get this. But
right, but I think trying to hide that conceit like it's a surprise, like no one knows, would be as silly as, I don't know, say off the top of my head, doing a trailer for a new Child's Play movie and hiding the fact that it's a killer doll.
Yeah, or making a second Star Trek movie and hiding the fact that Benedict Cumberbatch is playing Khan.
Yeah.
It's like,
Child's Play has been around for over 30 years. It's never gone away. Everyone knows Chucky is a killer doll. It's like when they tried to hide Godzilla in the advertising for the '98 Godzilla movie. When you do that, it makes me afraid that your Godzilla or your Chucky is really stupid looking, and you know it.
Yeah, or the fact that Superman's going to be in Justice League. That still bugs me, that they tried to make it seem like Superman wasn't going to be in Justice League. But so yeah, the cat's out of the bag. They break the fourth wall. Emmett has a vision of the how did they pronounce it? Your Mamageddon, I think, is how they call it. But your Mamageddon is everybody falling into a void.
Are you sure it's not just Mamageddon?
No, it's Your Mamageddon, and
All right.
um, um, but yeah,
I still like the
everything's gonna get
Sistar
sucked
system.
into the bins of storage or something like that, and
All right. I still like Sistar system.
yeah, the
That's
Sistar
pretty
system.
funny.
Yeah, that is really good. And to get to the Sistar system, you have to go through the Stairgate, which is I like that play. That was a really good play on words there. Um, and but yeah, Rex Dangervest, I think that's his name. Really great character. And Chris Pratt really plays the character really well, and I like it. Chris Pratt plays both Emmett and Rex, and and it's just, he does both characters super well, and the Rex character is basically a spoof of every character that Chris Pratt has ever played.
Since
Um,
the Lego movie, so is a character
yeah,
in Jurassic World and
yeah,
Guardians
Jurassic
of the
World,
Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. He even plays into the rumors that he was going to be Indiana Jones.
Hmm.
There's even a callback or a reference to his time on Parks and Recreation, and and a bunch of other stuff. It's great. It made me laugh so much. Um,
Real good.
yeah, but there's also a really good reveal at the end. I'm not going to spoil the ending for everybody out there, but
The good guys win.
yeah, the good guys win. But the end reveal of who the real villain is and all that stuff is great. The music in this one, I don't think is as good as the first one,
So
because
nothing quite takes the place of Everything is Awesome.
no, not at all. They Queen, whatever I want to be, or however it's whatever I want to be is
Yeah,
the
shapes.
word, but I they pronounce it slightly weird. But she has a musical number in there where it's like, the point of the song is that she's not evil, and she's not evil, she's not conniving, she's not, it's great. And Wild Style the whole time is just like, this song makes it sound like you really are evil. And but that's a fun song, but that wasn't, it's not as catchy as Everything is Awesome. They do another song, where the main lyric is, this song's going to get stuck in your head, and which is just it's no, not really, but it's mostly a joke,
Mm-hmm.
as a reference to Everything is Awesome, because Everything is Awesome got stuck in everybody's head. You watch Lego Movie once and you're seeing that thing for a week, and but this one is just, it's making fun of the fact that they had a really catchy tune in the first one, and they know they're not going to be able to recreate that in this second movie. And so yeah, they make a lot of references to the first one in such a way as that they know this is a sequel. They know it can't ever be as good as the first one, but they're gonna have fun with it anyways. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. If you like the first Lego movie, definitely go see this one, because it's one of those rare sequels that live up to your expectations, but and it's not going to let you down. You're going to have a lot of fun if you like the Lego movie, and you like the Lego movies, and like the Lego Batman, or I guess Lego Batman's the only other good one they've done so far. Because the Lego Ninjago movie it was not as good.
Okay, it has its
Yeah,
moments.
it has its moments.
It has a kitty in it, so
Yeah,
it
the
goes
cat was fun, but everything else was just kind of. Eh. But yeah, definitely, go see this if you like the Lego movie.
along. All right.
Yeah.
And what else is in theater? I think How to Train Your Dragon 3 is out this week or sometime. Is it out
Next
yet?
week,
Next week? Okay.
or the week after, I think.
Hmm.
The only other movies that are out, I can't think of anything else that's out. We talked about Glass and last week.
Well, I saw Black Panther last week. I Saw
Is
it in
this
it.
your first?
No, I saw it when it came out last year. But Disney
Okay.
was doing a Oscar
Yeah.
slash Black History Month promotion, and so I got to see it for free. I'm like, great! It's a movie I like, and it's free. Win-win. So I went
Hey.
to see it last Sunday, and it's still good. I was interested to see. I wonder if my opinion on it has changed slightly. If I'll have a no, it is exactly as good as I remember it, and all the small little niggly problems I had with it are still small little niggly problems. But still really enjoyed the movie. Uh, there was one child in the theater. Well, there were many childs in the theater. But one child in particular was notable because I didn't see him or her. Really couldn't tell by the voice because children's all have high squeaky voices. Um, so this kid was quiet throughout the entire movie, except for one spot when Okoye and T'Challa start smooching. This little kid let out a ew. I was like, okay, that was pretty funny because I was thinking the same thing, honestly.
Yeah. Speaking of funny movie going experiences, when I watched Glass, there was a scene in Glass where it's like, it was like a busy restaurant, and there's just all of a sudden everybody goes quiet in the restaurant. But the very moment the entire movie went quiet, somebody in the audience just ripped a loud one,
Oh man,
and and it's like the very moment the movie goes quiet,
I
somebody ripped
thought
a
I'd
loud
sneak
one,
it out, but then the soundtrack completely dropped out of the movie.
and
Thanks, life.
it didn't start a rolling laughter, but there were a lot of people giggling, and you could tell a few people are trying to stifle their own laughter because it was just the timing was great.
That happened to me once. It was I muttered something to myself, but the what we were watching did the whole loud, 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 did that, and so everyone heard me. Luckily, they thought I was funny. It was also a commercial playing before the previews started, before the movie. It was a car commercial, and this car driving in slow motion in the desert, and just a wall of spinning sideways, and this wall of dirt just washes over the camera, and the it's a big thumping rock soundtrack, and it just cut to black, and Chrysler or whatever the car thing was, and I said, dirt, yeah, that makes me want to buy a car or something like that, and I only muttered it barely that loud, but this soundtrack just completely dropped right when I said it, and everyone thought that was funnier than even I did. I wasn't trying to be witty. I was just watching this commercial. I'm like, no, yeah, dirt. That's gonna make me buy a car, and everyone heard it and thought it was funny. So,
Nice.
and that's when I knew I was born to entertain. So,
Yeah.
all right, let us get into topics. And our first topic is Machinima is no more. I don't know that I've ever watched anything from Machinima. I mean,
Yeah.
I have to have at some point, but I couldn't name a single show or series they're known for. But a
Yeah.
week or two ago, all of Machinima's videos from the past 8 years or something like that, they've been around for a long time. Just all of them gone. They were all set to private, and everyone's like, the hell?
Yeah.
And is their parent company confirmed, and their parent company is Warner Brothers. Thanks, Warner Brothers, for buying stuff and shit canning it like
Yeah.
Filmstruck.
I think the most popular thing they're known for, at least what I know them for, is Red versus Blue.
I've heard of that.
Yeah,
I've
and that uses
I at least know what it
Halo
is. Yeah.
characters, and they developed a the whole thing around that.
So we have learned that the company has been shuttered. 81 people have been laid off. Um, so that
Yeah.
got me thinking. Occasionally because I do YouTube videos, and I think this is my legacy. When I'm dead and gone, I will be remembered. No, I won't. But my work will still be out there. No, it won't. I mean, because when YouTube, it may be generations from now, but when YouTube gives up the ghost, or Google gives up YouTube, or whatever, and they decide to turn off all those servers, all my videos are gone. All
Yeah.
everyone's videos are gone. It will be like they never existed. Kind of like all those cool games on the Wii eShop channel. They're gone forever unless you have
Yeah.
all my video. I actually have backups of, I think, most all of my videos. But yeah, if YouTube just, it's an interesting, digital content is not as permanent as we might think it is. It's like, this is my legacy. No, it's not necessarily permanent. 81 people are
Yeah.
now out of a job, and thousands of videos are now gone, or at least private. My guess is Warner Bros. I looked at this. I'm like, okay, so, but it's hosted on YouTube's servers, so why set them all private? And I can only imagine it's because whoever's going to end up buying it doesn't want anyone else to make money off of what they're going to rightfully own soon.
Yeah, that is a weird situation. I was looking at that. I'm like, why wouldn't you just leave the videos up?
Yeah.
Even if you're shutting down permanently, just
And
leave them up
rebranding and
and
moving it over. I mean, I think Screw Attack just kind of shuttered and became Death Battle only. I didn't look into that, but that's
yeah,
something
that's
I heard
something
off.
like that's going
But as
on.
far
And
as I know, they didn't. They just rebranded. They didn't turn everything off.
yeah,
All
well,
still
it's like I think with Screw Attack, the only thing anybody ever watches is Death
Death
Battle.
Battle.
So, and so yeah, why wouldn't you do that? Because yeah. So I was just thinking about that because Screw Attack had a top 10 thing, and those videos went to their own channel, and yeah, I believe they're rebranding. But yeah, with Machinima, I'm just like, even if you're gonna lay off everybody, at least leave all their content up so that people can watch it and remember it fondly if they like that stuff. I don't know.
12.3 million subscribers to the Machinima channel.
Wow. Yeah. Why would you turn all those videos off? I don't know. But yeah, that makes sense that if they're transferring ownership, yeah, you would turn off all you would at least turn off advertising so that
I don't know. You think someone
money.
that big could, just make an arbitrary cutoff point and say, go on, keep calculating ad revenue, and just move it to the new owners.
Yeah,
But I mean,
even that,
it's like you don't own it yet, so why do you care? I mean, it almost, again, I don't know. I can only speculate, but the idea I have in my head is, well, I don't want anyone else making money off of something I don't yet rightfully own. You know, the
yeah.
$4 you made on this video yesterday before I officially took it over, I don't want you to have that for. It's like, really, dude? I don't know.
Yeah.
I can see that happening, and it makes me sad. But
Yeah.
so hey, best to all the Machinima staff that got laid off. Hope you guys
Yeah, hopefully you can.
you'll land on your
Hopefully you
feet.
don't
GameStop is
compete too
hiring.
much with Andrew for that position.
I'm competing with all of the 81 people at Machinima who have a lot more experience at this than I do for that GameStop job. So actually, maybe I have a job. I'm okay. Maybe I should just step back and let the people who really need that go for it. I'll throw my hat in the ring. What the hell? It's something I think would be fun to do. I mean, one of the things that frustrates me about my YouTube channel is I have lots of ideas for various videos that I don't get to do because I genuinely don't have the time to do them. Sometimes it's a matter of resources, like my video ideas are just it would require the help of other people, and I don't have
Yeah.
other people to help, which is why it's frustrating. But sometimes in my videos, you'll see the focus go and come back in, and there's just nothing I can do about that. I have to rely on the autofocus working correctly. Yeah.
Yeah. And but you're with your the man your games could sell to video, or whatever you titled that.
Yep.
That one does show your ability to coordinate and work with others to get a
Yeah.
high quality video done,
Sure.
and that's definitely a big plus in your corner there, is that
That
you
one,
can get it done. And
it took about 9 months to do.
yeah,
But
but that
it's
was also
amazing
in
how
your own time. Yeah.
yeah, it is amazing how difficult it is to wrangle 9 or 10 people to the same spot for a 2 hour block, especially when you're not paying them.
Yeah.
That is enormously difficult to do. I think one of the biggest things was, though, is I had to didn't have to, but the way I wrote the video is I needed kittens, and I needed to find kittens I could borrow, and there was only a window, when they're not kittens anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I've got kittens, got to find people, and got to find a place. Yeah, so that was a pain in the butt, but yeah, it was still fun.
Definitely.
So,
Yeah.
all right, so best to all our Machinima friends.
Yeah.
And,
Good luck
moving on.
moving on. So.
Actually, I think one of our readers actually, yeah, someone on Facebook. I should have written this stuff down beforehand, but someone recommended the Machinima story, so thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Someone else, I forget, someone on Twitter forwarded this article to me, and it's a article at Waypoint from Danielle Rowe, a French name, who is in EMT, and wrote a little blog post called "I Wish Resident Evil 2, the remake, let me be a more compassionate hero." And it's a look at how Resident Evil 2 plays, and how the author of the article thought, what would be interesting is if Resident Evil 2 played a different way. I found a really interesting look. In Resident Evil 2, for the 0 of you who don't know, zombies have taken over Raccoon City, and pretty much everyone is dead. And Leon and Claire show up and wander around the empty, the infested police station, trying to find a way to get out of Dodge without having their brains munched. How the game works is you wander through the police station, and it's a resource survival game. So you need to, every time you find, I found 5 bullets. Oh, I need these 5 bullets. Oh, I found a first aid spray and a green herb. I need these because if something takes a bite out of my butt, I'm going to have to smoke it. I'm not sure what you do with that, but that's been a 2-decade joke. It's, what are we doing with these herbs? So in the game, you pick up everything that's not nailed down so that you can survive the night, or in the case of Resident Evil 3, a couple of days. That's how the game's played. You are alone, and so you gather everything you can so that you can survive and make it out alive. The author of this article took this premise and said, and this is probably my EMT side of me talking, but I feel kind of weird looting this police station of every resource it has, every medical item, all the food, all the bullets, and taking it all for myself. It's a very, very self-centered game. It's all about you, you know? And and the author was thinking, what? I would like to play this game as I want to help more people, because Marvin, the very doomed police officer, you can walk. His intestines are laying in his lap, but you can't do anything. You can't offer him a green herb. Hey, man, smoke this. It'll make you feel better. You can walk right up in front of them and first aid spray all over yourself. There's no option to try to help him
Yeah.
everything is extraordinarily scripted. I mean, there's one guy that gets torn in half that you try to help, but he gets torn in half. Um, and it's an interesting perspective. That would make a very different experience.
Oh yeah.
And that got me thinking. I'm like, um, how could you structure a Resident Evil 2? I mean, it would be a different game, but what
I think
if you were a group of survivors with like a home base in Raccoon City? And the idea was, I can see like two major ways to go about this. One is, do I pick up something and use it for myself or leave it there for someone else?
yeah.
And actually, at least the original Resident Evil 2 plays with that at least once, where you find a locker with I think there's a weapon and a pouch that you can use to expand your inventory, and you can take none, one, or both. And what you do affects the next character's playthrough. So if you take both items, when Claire comes through, when you play through as Claire, that locker is empty. So there's so you have to, should I take that would be kind of interesting if there were a set amount of bullets and healing items, maybe even ink ribbons, and you had to, it's like, should I take those bullets or should I leave them for Claire? Because I know she's wandering around here too.
Yeah.
The way you play it currently is you pick up everything that's not nailed down because there's nobody else but you. Yeah, Claire's around somewhere, but she's in her own game. It's fine. The other way you might be able to go doing that would be just radically different. What I was starting with was you're a group of survivors. You have a home base. You're all going out into Raccoon City. You personally go into, someone's exploring a museum. Someone's exploring a delicatessen. You're exploring the police station, and it's cool to take everything that's not nailed down because that's what you're there to do. But the idea is you want to be able to get out again so that you can bring crap back to your you can use all the bullets, you can use all the healing items, but then you've got nothing for your group when you get out. So the game becomes a resource.
It basically becomes The Walking Dead. So,
yeah. Oh, well. Okay. So anyway, I thought it was an interesting article and an interesting way
it is
at a different way you could play the game.
Yeah, and it also brings to mind the fact that just about every game is player centered. You play an RPG and you walk into Mr. and Mrs. NPC's house, and the first thing you do is rummage through their drawers and take their life savings.
It's like that hero privilege.
Yeah,
privilege. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's just that's how nearly all games are played. There's games out there where if somebody catches you rifling through your drawer or their drawers, they will either try to kill you or call the cops or whatever, or guards, or depending on the thing. There's games out there like that. You can lose reputation, all that kind of stuff. But most games are just like, as long as it's not as long as it's there, you can take it. And I've always found that an interesting trope in video games.
That too is like when I go plundering a dungeon, I'm like, that treasure chest, that doesn't belong to me. That's that. There's probably some orc who comes home after a long day and it's like, I just want to. It's like, who stole my stuff? I have like a +5 breastplate in here. I'm gonna sell that so I can buy shoes for my children. What kind of monster came in here and killed my family and stole my stuff? I talk about that when I'm playing RPGs. I'm like, I'm kind of a horrible person right now. Oh, they're monsters. It's fine.
Well, and it's always funny too. It's like when you're going in a dungeon and all the monsters in there are they're animalistic monsters. None of them are anthropomorphic. None of them show any signs of intelligence. But there's treasure chests dotted about. It's like, where did these things come from?
What's even more interesting is when a slime drops a full suit of armor, and you're like, what? Where did you have that?
Well, the guy he ate last was wearing it, and it's
Or
yeah,
like a giant snake, and it drops a change purse, and it's like, what were you going to do with that giant snake? Just
yeah.
slither on over to the to the inn and have a snooze?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and but going back here to Resident Evil, and yeah, you change if you change the way that you play, you're likely to change the type of game you are, because one of the options that I see, like you had the idea of a home base centered thing, a group centered game where you go out and you find stuff for the group. Another option would be, early on in the zombie apocalypse, you as the player are trying to rescue people in this building, and yeah, at that point you can use your gathering equipment for the purpose of helping the other people trapped, to escape and to treat them if they're injured, and that sort of thing. And yeah, these are totally different games than what Resident Evil 2 is doing.
What's
And
interesting is there is a little bit of that, because whoever you're playing, Leon or Claire, you run into another survivor, and you do work with them to get out together. But I, I- at least the original game, they often will give you stuff. I don't think you ever give Ada or give Sherry anything.
hmm,
But they'll be like, "Hey, I found some grenade rounds here." Oh, thanks. That happens in a lot of the game. So again, it's all
it's all
you do
player
find
centered. Yeah.
survivors, but it's all scripted and it's all player centric, which is not necessary. Which is not a bad thing in and of itself. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
This article's looking at what else could it be. And as an EMT, I'm not really surprised that the author is like, I kind of wanted to, as the character, role playing, I kind of wanted to engage in a different approach than just
Yeah.
mine. I'm the only person who could ever need
Yeah.
anything in this stuff, who could ever need any
Yeah.
of the stuff. But
Yeah, and this also brings to mind another article I read, and this was like a year ago or so. But it was written about the player relationships in Stardew Valley. Because in Stardew Valley, you're playing as a farmer in this new town, and you build friendships with the townsfolks, and there's a dozen or so people in town that you can eventually have the option of marrying. And the person who wrote the article was talking about how they're in the game, there are no heterosexuals, bisexuals, or homosexuals in the game. They're all player sexuals, where every single one of these characters can fall in love with the player regardless of whether the player is a boy or a girl, and or male or female. And the article talked about, it would have been a more realistic experience if certain NPCs, if it's a male NPC and you're playing a male player character, they have no interest in becoming romantically involved with you, or there's certain characters that would go either way or are strictly homosexual or something like that. But for simplicity's sake in developing the game, Concerned Ape just made everybody a player sexual, and that's how the game is portrayed. And there's really only two characters in Stardew Valley that even make some sort of reference to this. One of them is, his name is Alex, and if you are a male player and woo him and get him to marriage levels, he makes a reference how he never thought he would feel this way about another man.
hmm.
He thought he was straight until he met you, basically. So that's one reference, and then the other one is there's a character. Her name is Leah, and if you are a female in character, her ex is a female, and if you're a male, her ex is a male, and so it's kind of an interesting, uh, interesting choice by Concerned Ape in building her backstory.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, but everybody else pretty much makes no reference to the fact whether it's a straight or a heterosexual or a homosexual relationship that they're in with you.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I think one of the reasons it's probably maybe easier to do it that way, but it also allows or facilitates the same number of choices regardless of what gender you choose to play and what your wooing preferences are.
Yeah,
No matter which character you're playing or how you're playing, because they set it up that way, every player has the exact same number of options. Um, the other way, I mean, for example, like Mass Effect, if you play Dude Shep or whatever nicknames we've given the gendered versions of Shepard, um, you can't romance this particular character.
hmm
So you are limiting a portion of your player base that, pardon me, that chooses to play Dude Shep. Now, in some respects, that's really interesting because the specific characters are like, look, this character is straight always. They don't change what they are based on how you approach it. They're not molding the the person they are just to facilitate you. you know.
yeah.
On the other hand, it is a video game. So it is
Yeah.
about me. So it's really fascinating the different ways you can look at that and the different reasons you can have for uh, for handling these things in various ways.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly. And but it all, again, it all comes down to the designer and what choices they make for how the game is going to play in the end.
Yeah.
And
And you at
and
least, I think you do at least want every player to have, at the very least, even if they have different options, they at least have the same number of options. Because
yeah,
the
yeah,
worst
because
thing
I was thinking about that.
because one of the bad things that can happen is if you have a dating sim and you have one you have like a straight gamer uh would have 9 romance options, but a not straight gamer would have one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
something
and
you
that's
want to
something you
however you
completely
want
want
to do
to
it, that's
avoid.
probably
Yeah.
something you want to avoid.
Yeah, because with the with Stardew Valley, I think there's 10 options. 5 girls and 5 boys
Hmm.
who are marriage candidates, and and it would have been to me, looking at this from a design perspective, if you want to make sure everybody has the same number of options, both male and female potential spouses, just say there's let's see, there's 2 people who are strictly straight, 2 people who are bi, and then one on one, and then the fifth one, male and female, is bisexual. I think that would give everybody 3 males and 3 females options,
Hmm.
regardless of your whether you're playing as a male or a female. And I think, to me, that would be
Play dating
fair.
games like Pokemon. I want to
Yeah.
collect them all.
See, that's another thing, because a lot of people
Stardew
will.
Harem.
Yeah, because a lot of people will play through, and they'll start wooing someone and get them up there, and realize, this person, I'm not really feeling the relationship here, so I'm going to change course and marry, woo someone else. And even after they marry someone, they have the option of divorcing them, and the which is another funny aspect of Stardew Valley, is because the
You got a town full of X's now.
yeah, well, and the person you're married to has no say in whether you get the divorce. There's no kind of, there's the only repercussion is they hate you
Do,
after
do
you
they
get
do they get
divorced.
half your farm?
No.
No?
You pay the town $50,000 and that's it. They go back to their old life and they hate you now.
Can you
But
can you drown your spouse in the lake and then bury him in the shed or something? Feed him to the chickens.
no.
It's like, oh god, this game just got dark.
Well, you feed them to the pigs. Pigs will eat
There-
anything. But
Chewy.
no. But again, this is all just a reminder that yes, everything is player centric when you play video games, and that's just the world we have grown up in. This is the world that video games have become. Is just everything, it revolves around the player, and if it doesn't, it upsets people. That you limit them and you're going to be upset. And I think that's another reason why games like this are designed where it's all yours if you want it. And so
The other way to play Stardew Valley would be to raise everyone's heart level up to 9 out of 10. It's like, I may be single, but everyone in this town really likes me.
well, and that was something that interesting. You bring that up is you can actually raise everybody up to 10 hearts and
Oh, it's
make
not
them your.
automatic marriage if it's
No,
that.
it's not. You have to actually propose. You have to get the proposal item and propose to them.
I will
But
make you all love me.
yeah, but you can get everybody up to your boyfriend or girlfriend, and it actually has that in your relationship menu, whether they're your boyfriend or girlfriend. But in the latest patch where Concerned Ape brought multiplayer into the game, he included an option like if you got all the males or all the females in marriage candidates up to 10 hearts without marrying any of them, there's a special cutscene where they're all together in the same place and they confront you about it, and it's hilarious. So
Hey there. Get
yeah.
it? Player. Video game.
Yeah. So it's funny. He does. The game is great, but yeah, it's like just one of those things. One of those tropes that you have to deal with when playing video games.
Yeah. It's something we were talking about a little bit earlier with player centric viewpoints. Is just walking into people's houses and taking their things. Is I don't remember what the first game I saw do this, but I remember I was completely blown away when I went to go in someone's house and my character knocked on the door first. I mean, they still went right in, but they knocked on maybe it's Animal Crossing or Rune Frontier or something like that. But you walk up to the door, you hit A, and the character goes knock, 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 and then walks in. And at least in Rune Frontier, if it's after like 6 p.m., you don't go in people's houses. It's open house from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. or something like that. But you do knock.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's nice. Hey, that's nice. You at least knock before you walk in someone's house.
Yeah, and that
That's
is
one of those things in video games that we're kind of trained not to think about because you're the protagonist,
Yeah.
you're the hero of the story. You are entitled to all the things. If it's
Yeah.
not nailed down, it's yours.
Yeah, and Stardew Valley has similar things where it's like you can only go into people's houses between certain hours. Like you can't walk into somebody's house at 6 a.m. or you can't go into somebody's house at midnight. It's like from 8 or 9 to 8 or 9, and that's the window you can actually go in. But there's also another restriction where you can't go into their private living area, like their bedroom, unless you're a certain level of friendship with them. And some characters, their entire house is their private living area, and so you can't go into their house at all until you've actually become friends with them. And
Yeah, Link is a right. As Link in Breath of the Wild, I'll walk into your house, I will smash your pots, and I will jump on your bed, and I will read your diary right in front of you.
yeah,
It's like, wow, Link's a jerk. It's like, oh, no one said I couldn't. You have a sword, you ass. Of course no one's... You've got a 6-foot broadsword on your back, and it's on fire somehow. Of course no one's giving you a cup about that.
Yeah. Yeah,
At
good
least
stuff.
Ganon doesn't come in people's houses and break their pots. Who's the real villain of Hyrule?
Oh man. Yeah, good stuff there.
You see, thinking about video games is fun.
Yep, it is. It is. It's a lot of fun, and just one of my favorite columns ever was designer. I can't remember his name now, but or just off the top of my head, but he wrote a series of articles called "Bad Game Designer, No Twinkie," and he just basically picked a series of design tropes that are in video games and rip them apart. It's like, this is incredibly stupid. Why are we doing this? And one of them was the pots have stuff in them. You smash pots. Another one was non-anthropomorphic enemies drop things only anthropomorphic enemies would have, like a chicken's not drops a broadsword. It's like, what's a chicken doing with a broadsword? Yeah.
And why wasn't that overly aggressive chicken trying to hit me with said broadsword?
Exactly. But yeah, it's a great article. Ernest Adams, I believe, is the guy who wrote it.
What's funny, I think usually what it is they were shortcuts used back in the days when we had much, much less processing power, and we couldn't really... You needed a way to search things, and it's like, well, we don't have the horsepower to come up with dozens of different realistic ways that you might be able to find spare change. So it's like, look, pots are where stuff is, right? Or treasure chests. Everyone has treasure chests. People have treasure chests in their bedrooms, in their living rooms. They're in caves. You find them out in the... I don't know why, but everyone seems to love them. It's just because you do. And we never got away from it because we're used to it and we just take it for granted. It's also quick shorthand because gamers typically... I mean, if you see a red barrel, what does that mean? It means if you shoot it, it's going to
it's going to explode. Yeah.
And you know that, even though it doesn't make any sense. You're like, what is in this red barrel that's making it blow up? And why do the bad guys keep storing it in highly sensitive areas? And why do they keep hiding behind the damn thing? Are they all colorblind? Do they not realize this is an explosive barrel?
No, they just don't think that you have ammunition that's going to make it explode. I don't know.
But I certainly wouldn't advocate necessarily for not doing that, because if you didn't make them stick out, it would very likely make the game less fun because you wouldn't be able to immediately read what was an explodey barrel and what wasn't.
Yeah.
Or you could do it, I guess, the GoldenEye way, where everything you shoot explodes for some reason, including the file cabinet. That's always the weirdest thing in the N64 GoldenEye. Everything blows up when you shoot it, even stuff that has no business blowing up. So they didn't color anything red. Just everything blows up.
Well, and that's one of the fun things about the Lego games is that just smash everything and get the studs from it.
Yeah, in the more recent games, it's we have the more realistic backgrounds, and everything that's clearly made of Lego is punchable.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, as Otraitsu is pointing out, the reason they're colored red is so that the player has something that lets them know that it's a way to communicate to the information to the player.
Yeah,
even though it doesn't actually make any realistic sense. Why would it be like that? Why are they there? Why are the enemies constantly hiding behind it? Don't they learn?
Yeah.
Well,
and it's another...
The game be as fun if you made it realistic.
Yeah. Well, and it's also like, why are these giant monsters? Why do these giant monsters have big glowing weak spots? It's so that the player knows that that's where they need to hit. But
it's like maybe get some concealer for that, little foundation, a little powder, just cover that glowing
You know,
weak
you're
spot.
you're wearing armor everywhere except your weak spot. You might want to put some armor there.
Yeah. Atrisu points out that
Yeah.
maybe it's a representation of the like Batman's or Spider-Man's spider sense or Batman's detective mode. They're not
Yeah.
really red. It's just your player character's super abilities of being able to pick things out of the environment like that. And that's
Yeah.
true.
That is true.
That's one
Yeah.
way to look at it.
You
It's
know,
like
if you
it's
have
not red. It's not that stupid. It's just your character can intuit that's an explodey object. If I shoot
yeah.
that, it will explodey. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
All right. We did have another topic, but it's a little after 8 and I need to go back to work. So
All right.
we're going to cut the podcast off here. And hey, everyone. Thanks for showing up. I'm
Yes,
glad
thank you.
I stayed awake because I'm going to be awake for much longer. Actually, I think I'll make myself some dinner before I head back to work because we're not releasing the production until tomorrow morning at the earliest. So, yeah, I've got time. So, all right. Hey, everyone. You've been listening to the Molehill Mountain podcast. So, thanks much for that.
Yes, thank
Andrew
you.
Eisen here. Eisen is how you spell the last name. Plug it into YouTube. You'll find my YouTube videos. They're very good. You can also follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen. Zachary, plug away.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at EZ Night, where I talk about video games and politics and other things that that interest me and cross my mind. You can follow my game development work at DK_gaming on Twitter and DivineKnightGaming.com. And if you're interested in the Oklahoma game development scene, you can check out OK Game Devs on Twitter and OKGameDev.com.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out with us. We will see you back here next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
See ya.